alongside head football coach Chad Masters. John Edwards with you. And Coach, first of all, welcome to your first official game week here at Vianney.
It is. It's week one, new season. A lot of new things can happen. Kind of sky's the limit for what we can do, or how we go through the season. So it's the best part about high school football is every year it's a new team, and every year it's a new experience. And you never know really where it's going to go until you actually get into it. And so I think that's one of the coolest things about it.
Last week you had Jamborees over at Eureka High School as well as the rest of the state of Missouri. And talk about Jamboree and in your perspective of, I understand you're not rolling out the playbook, but tell me what you thought of what you saw.
I was pleased. One of the biggest things I wanted to see was just how we compete. And we have a lot of new guys stepping in a lot of different roles, and that was really kind of neat to kind of see them really blossom and grow there. People can put too much stock in jamborees one way or the other. Some people can think that you're way better than what you are, you're way worse than what you are, but really for us, it was a way for us to go in against other competition, to work on, look at, how are we going to be able to run the football? That was a big thing for me this year was, what are the ways, are we going to be an effective running football team, or and from that point, what do we have to do to get there, not to mention just getting kids experience. And I think we were able to see those things a little bit, at least identify the opportunities for us to get better going into week one. And week one, of course, is kind of an opening act for week two, week three, and so on and so forth. So for us, it was a great opportunity for us just to kind of take a look at, where we need to go, what were our strengths, what are some things that we got to get better at, and then how do we fix those. So it was great to see a lot of different kids do things they haven't done yet before.
36 offensive plays, 36 defensive plays at Jamboree. Was there a progression of how you felt things went from the first 12 plays through that final 12 plays? Do you feel like, okay, let's get these first couple of plays under our belt, we haven't had a chance outside of just to hit ourselves here?
Right.
Like, how do you feel the first 12 went, the second 12, and then the final 12? Did you finish out how you hope you finished?
The first 12, it was kind of getting your feet wet. It was kind of getting kind of knocking the dust off a little bit and going. One of the things I noticed defensively was we started just a little bit slow in that first 12, mainly just because the speed of it was different than anything we could replicate in practice, and especially if you got some guys going both ways, so say your best players are on the other side and you got maybe some guys going against them that aren't given the same look they're going to get from the first team, and that was Rockwood, someone who's a very well coached, good football team, and so it took them just a few plays to get going, which fully expected that. Offensively, I thought we started off really well. But of course, we're also working against some, our defense in practice a lot of times gives us a really good look. They started off really well, and I was pleased with how they kind of picked it up as they went through, and I think we finished strong there. Then we get into Eureka, and Eureka's got a strong program with a storied history, and I think that really kind of got their juices up. Our kids really started getting kind of competitive in that one. I was real pleased with that step up they made there to try to match that. I thought that was pretty evenly matched. If you're going to, as far as scrimmage quality between both of us, not really do anything against each other, but just flat out playing fundamentals of football. I thought we executed well on that one and really responded well, especially defensively there. I thought maybe, we didn't finish as strong as I wanted to see, then we got in against Zumwalt South, and I think maybe coming back off that Eureka, and then getting into the Zumwalt South game, I think maybe they just lost a little energy going into that, but we still, again, settled in and finished better than what we started initially. So that's an area we got to really focus on is our start has got to be as good as our finish. We got to get better at our start and still continue to finish strong, and I think that's a big key for what we got moving forward too.
You'll see Eureka potentially again in districts.
We could, yes,
which is a pretty big shift for Class 5.
Right. Oh yeah, they've been Class 6 for years. Yeah, and they've always been around that bubble, and with the new alignments and everything else, and teams going to 8-man or teams dropping, and just other schools growing, others not. They shipped it down to Class 5, which is awesome. It's a great opportunity for us against a high-quality opponent that's fairly local, and we're going to have our work cut out. We got a lot of games to even get to that point,
sure.
And hopefully at the end we're having an opportunity to face each other. So I think it'll be a lot of fun for both programs.
This week the team travels down to Fayetteville Game 1 of the regular season, and talk about the importance for you and your coaching staff of having a trip like this with pretty much a new team.
Yeah, I think again it's opportunity for us to build relationships and again get to know them in a place that's not just here at school. Like we get to go away, we spend a night with them. We get to really learn our kids, and I think that's a really key component for down the road for us in the season. And I'm really happy. It's a great group of young men. We've talked a lot about expectations and what kind of trip it's going to be for us. And they've really responded well to that. So I think it's just it just be kind of almost like, I won't say isolated, but you kind of remove yourself from your normal environment. You get to see a little bit different focus, a little bit different approach to things a little bit. And I think it's a great opportunity for us right off the bat to have a big road trip like that.
What have you kind of emphasized this week during practice, especially going down to an environment where potentially you're going to be playing in front of 10, 12,000 people this weekend?
Is really just control what we can control. We talked a lot about, we call them the 3 E's, we're going to have effort, enthusiasm, and execution. We can only control those 3 things. And that everything that we do matters too. So how we approach the trip, how we conduct ourselves on the bus, in restaurants, in a hotel, how much we want to take, get our bodies rest, and we may have a lights out at a certain time, but are you going to take the opportunity to rest and get your body ready? So it's almost like a college atmosphere, a little bit like that on a road trip. But we've been emphasizing those things that we can control. We can't control the crowd or how good Fayetteville might be or the road conditions or if we have a good meal or not. We can't control any of those things. We can always control every single day what's our effort, what's our enthusiasm, how we got to execute what we do. And so that's been a big deal this week for us, is just focusing on those little controllable things that we can control. And then we'll deal with the rest. And then when you go in an environment that could be as loud and as competitive and as volatile in a way as that could be, to be able to kind of stay on your center a little bit and to be able to control what you can control will be a big test for us. And I think that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing our kids do, because every week's an experience. And every week presents a new experience for what you have to overcome to be where we want to be at the end of the season. And this is just another one of those steps in the process. And so we're looking forward to taking care of those 3 E's every single day and also at the game and kind of see where the chips may fall.
So probably some of the players will have jitters this week. How about yourself? How about your staff? Who's the guy that's going to calm you down on the sideline this week if you get a little pregame jitters?
Coach Morris, maybe. He's used to it by now. For me, I've been doing this 20 years, and I have to say that I have jitters before every game, like I was still a player, because it's just the great unknown. You don't know, I mean, that's what's awesome about it. But that's also what's a little bit intimidating about it too. Like, you don't know, like when the minute that ball gets kicked into play at 7 p.m. on Friday. We have no idea. We planned. We've got ideas of what we want to do or how we think things are going to go, but you don't really know, how that game goes and how each team goes and how the season goes. So especially for that week 1, with a new program and new faces, it's gonna take some adjustment there. And like I said, I'm sure they have jitters. Our kids, I'm sure our coaches a little bit do. I'm sure Fayetteville does too. I'm sure they got some kids that are playing for the first time for them. They have a new head coach. Like, I think it's gonna be a really fun atmosphere between the 2 schools. But yeah, I'm that kind of guy that I'll be coaching hopefully 20 more years, God willing, and I probably have jitters, at age 60 before a game. So just because you don't know, you're excited. It's an exciting time, but at the same time, you're just like this step over a ledge. You're just not quite sure what's on the other side. So, we'll have some fun for sure. We're gonna compete and really do our best job this weekend.
All right, I told you last week I'd have a couple different questions away from the football field for you.
Yep.
What's your favorite style of music?
Oh, this is a good one. It sounds cliche, but I'm actually a varied musical taste guy. Like, legitimately, if you look at my playlist on Spotify, it's everything from like classical music, jazz music, to Kenny Chesney, to Lil Wayne, to like 80s. I mean, it's all over the place. My favorite time period of music, probably, I'd say. I grew up kind of in the 90s, so I was big into kind of, you could say the Seattle grunge music scene.
Nirvana.
Yeah, little Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. I mean, there's all kinds of them in there. REM was huge then, even though they weren't really with that crew. So that's probably my favorite music time period. Even the hip hop from that time period is really good.
I can't picture a Central Missouri guy as a hip hop guy.
Hey,
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around.
we got more than cowboy boots and country music there. So my taste in music is varied, and I think that's really my interests in life are kind of varied. Like I tell kids all the time, I love music, I love reading, I love art. Like you wouldn't know that about me unless I said that to people, but definitely musical tastes are very eclectic. But it just kind of depends on my mood and depends on, I'm constantly trying to seek out some new musical source, or like what's kind of interesting over here. Like I'll listen to, something from another continent, international music. I'm just trying to figure it out. And just
broaden the horizons.
Broaden the horizons a little bit, stimulate the brain thinking a little bit, I guess. Kind of how I try to approach reading books too. So I would say different. If you could narrow it down, I'd say time period 90s.
Okay.
Of course, that was also my coming of age time. I was a little adolescent into high school to college. So I guess that's the coming of age point in my life. So that'd probably where I'd go right now.
Favorite pizza topping?
Oh, I love pepperoni, mushrooms, and black olives.
Okay.
That's
Two
probably-
out of three ain't bad. You lost me on the mushrooms.
Yeah. I think mushrooms is like you love it or you hate it.
Right.
I think my oldest son can't stand mushrooms. My youngest son loves them. So it is what it is. I also don't mind just a good old like hamburger beef on there too.
There you go.
But a lot of times I'll go with a supreme pizza. With all the toppings, kind of thing. But I will say this, and Vianney Nation out there, do not dislike me. I'm not an emos fan. It's actually not too bad. I got used to it. My wife absolutely loves emos, and my oldest son does too.
Well, your wife's from this area.
She's from St. Louis, yeah. So she grew up on it. For me, I didn't grow up on it, and so it's kind of a newer flavoring for me. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So I'm now an emos fan all the way. Go St. Louis.
If you had an ultimate dinner meal, what would it be?
Ooh, I love Asian food.
Really?
I love like Thai or Chinese.
They have a lot of good stuff like that in the mid-Missouri?
There's a restaurant there called Bangkok Gardens. Awesome. Great Thai food there. There's a couple good Chinese restaurants there in town too. Sometimes I get the nice Chinese food from like a good restaurant. Sometimes I just get the Chinese food from like
wherever.
The place next to the laundromat, or in between that and the dog store. So you got like a little strip mall of Chinese food. So but I love Asian food. I'd say that's my go-to. Some people like Italian. Some people like American type food like steaks and stuff. I mean, I'm trust me, I'm not a picky eater. I always tell people I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and eat it, so it gives my great physique, obviously. But I would say my go-to if I had to choose would be definitely Asian food of some type.
All right, last question.
Okay.
If you weren't a football coach and a teacher, what would you be?
Oh, that I don't know.
Did you know like when you got into high school and into college that teaching was kind of the direction you wanted to go?
Yeah. I come from a lot of educators in my family. My mom, my grandmother, my aunt. I got two cousins. I mean, education. I had a grandfather that was a principal, so education was kind of in my blood. And I love sports, and I had such good coaches that were kind of impactful on me too. That I really want to get to, even though I didn't know quite how to do it or what I wanted that to look like, because I've changed that, philosophy-wise through my career. But I want to do something like that. If I could choose, like if I could magically snap my fingers and do something else, I would honestly love to write.
Really?
To be a professional writer, like not like a reporter, like writer.
Yeah.
But to I enjoy poetry. I enjoy books. I'm not sure I'm as diligent as the writers would be, but I would like to say if I could be an aspiration to be something, maybe I'm just in love with the idea of a cabin in the woods and writing great novels or something, but I think being a writer would be a lot of fun. I would, I think that'd be...
It's not great.
No, but if you hit the bestseller list, then you're good, right? I'll probably make more as a Catholic high school teacher and coach as a writer.
Possibly.
Yeah, but I have a strong interest in that, and maybe that's my retirement career someday. So I just gotta have a story to tell that somebody wants to read. I don't know if that's there yet.
Well, Coach, maybe you get a chance to write a story this season with the 2019 Vianney Griffins
Well
football
played.
team, and I look forward to seeing you during the course of the year. Best of luck down in Fayetteville
Thank
this
you very
weekend.
much.
We will not have the live stream. I will provide a link for you guys for you to watch the game through Fayetteville's website. Friday night as Vianney takes on Fayetteville. We'll talk to Coach Masters again next week.